All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, actually, let's get this in here. How you guys doing? This is your man Bogy here with the CREW Afterhours. That's right. So with me got JFEW in the house. What's going on?
Nothing much, Bogy. I'm really excited today. It's been a while, and I'm here to talk about something real cool. It's a surprise.
All right. And then we got GB in the house. What's going on, brother?
Man, just hanging in there.
That's it. All right. And then we have from far away, we have JMoody in the house. Get back here. Get back here, JMoody. All right. How's it going up there? How's the atmosphere there?
A little chill.
Okay, remember, hold that breath, make it count. You never know. And our special guest for this episode 9 of season 1 of T.C.A, we have O.M.B in the house. What's going on?
What's happening? What's happening, guys? Good to be back. Good to be here. Good to be back with some of the peeps. JFEW, GB, Bogy, all of you guys. It's been a while. JMoody, what's up? It's first time meeting you. Ready to have a good time. Let's do this.
All right, so O.M.B is part of the Gamers Addict show crew, and it's been a very while, a long time that we haven't gotten together, so this is a nice little reunion here. All right, guys, so we are going to go right into topic number 1. This one is headed by JFEW, so JFEW, take it away, brother.
All right, guys, hope everyone's doing well today. I am so excited to be here on the T.C.A show. And I love the backgrounds all you guys have there. GB Chris with the arcade. I see some video games behind O.M.B right there.
Funkos actually. And also, you recognize that?
Yes, I recognize that TV right there. Nice. And I see JMoody hanging out with Superman over there. I think I see him right behind him there. And Captain Bogy there, just chilling and ready for his next wrestling show. He's gonna come back and he's gonna wrestle. But
only in the imagination of JFEW do I wrestle.
I guess it's a dream, but who knows? That might become a reality if some money comes in. But anyways, guys, so today I wanted to talk about. I was recently watching a documentary on Netflix, and it really got my attention because when I was a teenager, I used to work at this place. And it was one of the best experiences I ever had as a young man. And the documentary is about Blockbuster Video, and it focuses on the last 4 years of Blockbuster and the last 4 stores that were open. I'm not gonna tell you what happens. I guess most of you have read about it or whatever. But through it. In the end, you know, we have one Blockbuster Video remaining. And I just have so many fond memories of working at Blockbuster Video. It was the first place that really got me to open up and talk to people and make friends and really, like, you know, step out of my comfort zone, because there was just so much to talk about when I worked there, because there was all kinds of movies and video games. And besides that, it was just like, it was just the place to be on a Friday night. So I'm gonna give you some of my experiences of working at Blockbuster, and I'm also gonna read you some interesting facts that I found in a news article. So I'm gonna read to you a couple of facts. The first one is, Blockbuster at one time had more than 9,000 stores, each offering over 6,000 square feet of DVDs, VHS tapes, video games, and candy bars. Who can forget the candy? How can you not forget the candy bars, right? The candy bars, the popcorn, oh my God. But of course, the arrival of Netflix and entertainment on demand stripped the company to the bone and necessitated bankruptcy in 2010. Today, only one independently owned store is still operating in Bend, Oregon. So, an interesting fact is that David Cook, in 1985, with his wife Sandy, opened up the first Blockbuster store. Cook had been writing computer programs to manage inventory for big oil businesses, but a more led to a stack of unpaid invoices. At the same time, the VHS rental market was exploding, growing from 7,000 stores in 1983 to 19,000 stores in 1986. The Cooks decided the industry could use a mega store with an inventory larger than independent shops could provide. Sandy came up with the familiar blue and yellow color scheme, and Blockbuster was born.
Wow.
So yeah, back in the 80s, my first experience at Blockbuster was renting an NES game. I remember going into the store and feeling that smell. I don't know if you remember that smell going in, the carpet. I don't know what it was, but it was just very unique, right? And I remember renting my first video game there. It was Double Dragon for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I never stopped going back after that. It was awesome because everything was on the shelf and nothing was behind like in the old mom and pop stores.
Yeah.
An interesting Blockbuster that I also want to say is that Blockbuster abstained from porn. That's right, Bogy. They had no porn in the Blockbuster store, so little kids could run around without the parents having to worry. Another interesting fact was Blockbuster was sued by Nintendo. Now, this happened in the 1980s. People were renting out popular titles such as Mario and Link, and Blockbuster was not willing to cooperate. Sticking to its reputation for a stern business, Nintendo sued the company in 1989 for copyright infringement, complaining that stores were photocopying game manuals. Blockbuster said they were simply compensating for the manuals. The two wound up settling out of court. By 1994, Nintendo had capitulated on its anti-rental stance, and Blockbuster reported that game rentals made up to 8 to 10% of their revenue. Another interesting fact was that Blockbuster made a fortune off late fees. A lot of us returned our movies late.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. You owed like $12, $13, maybe more, and you went Friday night with your honey or with your friends, and you scarfed up and paid those rental fees, and then you rented your movies. That's how they made their money. A lot of times we're coming in late with those rentals.
I will tell you this though. I remember when they extended the rental days or the late fees, so that you have less of a chance to pay a lot of it. And I mean, that killed the mom and pop stores, because the mom and pop stores is like, you got to rent it for one day and got to bring it back the next, or you're going to get like $1 a day, $2 a day. Made their money. But
and that also killed, when they stopped collecting the late fees, that also killed their business. Because they depended on a lot of that. And at one point, it was like, keep the movies for as long as you want.
Yeah, that was Netflix's thing.
Blockbuster did it too.
Well, I think it was Netflix first, when they started doing the DVDs first.
Right.
And then I remember Blockbuster was actually trying to copy them a lot with the late fees. That's one of the reasons why people were doing Netflix too, besides the fact they could just get it in the mail. And not having to go out. But Blockbuster's version was like, hey, rent it out, and and you don't have to mail it back out, So people keep coming back in and just renting there too, because they're there.
There was one time that I owed so much in the rental fees that I moved to another state.
Yo, and you know what's also great that Blockbuster did? Because after JFEW speak everything he's doing about Blockbuster, I can tell you my history with them. But one thing that Blockbuster did, besides having a huge store where you have tons of the new releases available, was that little drop box where, it's late at night, it's due tomorrow, let me just drop it in before it's late, and that's it. Even when they're closed, you're not late.
Let me tell you something about that drop box. Every time I went to work in the morning, that drop all the way out onto the floor by the cash register. It was like insane, like rentals everywhere. People would come into Blockbuster to get new releases, and they would wait, because I would look at the computer system and it would show that a couple of those new releases were due that day. So people would camp out. It was crazy. It was fun too. People would, you would just be chatting away, and they would be waiting, and you see somebody pull up, drop in some movies, and be like, oh my God, is that the movie? So yeah. You know, another interesting fact is that Blockbuster had exclusive rights to movies back in the 90s. They also tried to buy Circuit City. So Blockbuster tried to arrange a buyout worth $1 billion in 2008. This franchise went bankrupt that following year. Blockbuster wound up losing $1 billion all by itself in 2010, forcing it into bankruptcy. Another interesting fact was that Blockbuster had a chance to buy Netflix at one time, and that didn't pull through. I don't know what they were thinking. So they could have still technically been around. They had a lot more money than Netflix at that time, and just some people behind the making the right decisions, a lot of greed, and you know
that's what usually kills it.
That's what happened. But
I think the amount, sorry to cut you off for that. I think the amount was like $38 million that they had a chance to buy them for. And look at them now. And look at Netflix now.
Yeah. And Netflix basically just did the whole, they're the first ones to start streaming that I remember. And everybody just got used to that because I remember having to have the DVD rentals and also doing the streaming, which they had some movies. And then we just said, oh, we're only streaming. So we just, in the mail. And that was it. And everybody was doing it, that they just became the number one thing and everybody started copying them. And now because of being on demand, people just get picky and just, I gotta watch something now, whenever I want to. And they're the ones that started it, the whole binging and everything. But hey,
I love that of my binging in the Chinese buffet.
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah.
Well, Blockbuster was so cocky that at one time they actually mailed a kitchen sink to Netflix.
Yeah, I read about that. It's horrible.
Yeah, and that didn't go their way. But it's so cool that the last Blockbuster is still around. You have to watch the documentary. I don't want to give you guys too much. It's really cool. You're gonna have a lot of reminiscing of all the nostalgia, and it's like a cliffhanger. The documentary builds up all the way to the end. So I highly suggest you guys check it out if you haven't. It's really, really cool. And as far as like my experience working there, great time working there. I would get free rentals and I would get to watch movies before anybody else. And
you were the one hogging it all up, mother.
Now let me ask you: Did you happen to work at the one at the plaza by that was on 68th and 24th Street?
Yeah, that was the one by Jesse's Video.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah,
I used to go to that one.
I used to go to that one too. How about that? So I'm more than likely. Well, no. If JFEW says he worked there in the 90s, I absolutely saw him then.
No wonder, because I also noticed that the porno section was always empty when he was working.
Did you notice that JFEW's hands were always sticky in the 90s?
Oh,
late 90s.
He thought I was sweating, but
it was like a weird smell. It was like a weird smell too. I mean,
it smelled like zinc. It smelled like zinc.
All right. So JFEW, man, that's an awesome topic. Let's get a little bit of the other guys' experience, man. So what are your memories of Blockbuster?
Well, I'll start. Well, for me, one thing I do want to say, when he said that Blockbuster started getting really big in the 80s, I think it's because I don't know if it's in the 70s or in the early 80s or something. I don't know when VHS started coming out. I mean, a lot of people never got to see the movies again, and now they're coming out where they can watch it at home. Besides, reruns, everybody went, oh, we're gonna watch movies. Let's go watch it. Remember that old film? Let's go watch that one again. And I remember going to in New York in the 80s. I used to have the little mom and pop places, and like Video for All, Leisure Video, stuff like that. And since I was a little kid, I used to always go to the section where it was kids section, but with the big clam shells that were all gold. And we're like, yeah, I want to get that one, this one tonight, and stuff like that. But but it was like 1991 for me was where there was a Blockbuster that opened up near me. And at that time, I already had Super Nintendo. It was 91. I already had a Super Nintendo, and I was going there for the first time and saying, wow, how big it is. Like, it wasn't just a little store, like, oh, here's one little section with games. No, man, it was just like a rows of just games and different systems. It was amazing. And every weekend I'd go, or even Friday after school, my brother and I would just go over there and walk and rent a game or a movie from my mom. And it's just like that was our weekend, just renting a game and a movie, and then taking it back on Sunday or Monday night, and that was it. And it was like awesome, you know. You got to play so many different games back in the day. And then when I came to Florida, it was also the biggest thing. I mean, besides like Hollywood Video and other people's, but Blockbuster was just the main place to go. And one thing I do remember before they closed down, the best snack they ever had was their own brand. It was these chocolate covered pretzels. They're like little balls or something like that. Oh my God, they were the best. I've never had
in the yellow packing. The yellow packing.
I don't remember. I think it was like in a little plastic container.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And it was delicious, man. I never had anything that good afterwards, you know? But they had so much candy, like when you right there. They were smart, right? When you're waiting in line, oh, what's all this candy? What's all that? Let's get this. Oh, look, a movie, what do you call it? A movie tub with popcorn in it. You put it in the microwave. I would eat like we're in the theaters, you know? They were smart with that. But yeah, Netflix killed them, man. That was the truth.
So JMoody, what are your memories of Blockbuster? Get him back. Okay, there he is. So Blockbuster.
Yeah, I remember. Well, see, I'm from a small town where like Blockbuster, they almost allow it into that town, because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of businesses where even Walmart was, when Walmart was just starting to come around, wasn't allowed to come in. So that's when Blockbuster finally came around. It was just like the biggest thing, because we had like what you guys are talking about, those little mom and pop shops, the ones with the, it seemed like they had more porn movies than they had like the real video.
Yeah, they had like maybe 2 or 3 copies of a new release instead of like 100, Yeah.
Exactly. So that was kind of my experience, like when Blockbuster finally actually came in, they didn't just get one location, they went 2. So one was on one side and one was on the other side of the town. So they made sure that they definitely made their presence known.
Okay, and just to share with us, so where was it that you lived at this time?
Small town of Michigan, northern Michigan.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
A lot of the guys here are some New Yorkers and Miami. So yeah, we were in that commercial kind of where the big businesses would be coming in. So we've had those experiences.
Yeah, you guys are much more like.
Bogy's from parts unknown.
So O.M.B, what is your experience with Blockbuster, man?
Man, so I just dabbled. I used to go to the one on 68th and 24th throughout the 90s and early 2000. I was fortunate. I had to go to I had Blockbuster. I had Hollywood Video that was on the plaza right next to Jose Marti. And then I also had, I think it was called Hollywood Movie 2, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. They had their membership was white and blue as well, but not like Blockbusters, but it was like a little business card. And then there was another one literally right next to my house. I could walk to Video Alameda and Master Alameda. I actually still remember my membership number, 4695. And I still remember vividly the owner, Rafael. He's probably passed away since then because he was pretty old even back then.
No, RaFEW, he couldn't make it tonight.
Next time. But I was fortunate enough that I had all these stores right there, like within a 3 to 4 mile radius. So if Master Video Alameda didn't have this, which more than likely they didn't because they were a small shop, I could go to Hollywood Video. If they didn't have it, I could go to Blockbuster. And Blockbuster is where I fed my addiction for Super Nintendo, for Genesis, all the way up to maybe PlayStation 1.
Oh,
So was
right.
was
That's
Master
the 20-minute bell.
was,
So we got a few minutes to wrap this up. So go ahead and give your last thoughts, gentlemen.
What?
quick question?
And I would like to share once you guys are done.
Okay.
Quick question. The Master Video, was that by the Domino's?
Yeah, right next to it.
I
Right next to it.
actually went to his store and got video games for him when he was like bought a bunch of Super Nintendo. He was an older guy. He was
The older guy, yeah, he was really nice guy.
Yeah.
Always. In fact, I remember he would ask me, hey, what game should I get? He would ask me, and I remember he got Mega Man X2 because of me, and I was the first person. There you go. And I was able to rent the game first because of that. He was like, I'm gonna hold it for you first.
One thing I want to mention is that when O.M.B went into Blockbuster in the 90s and I was working there, I looked like Beavis and Butthead, and O.M.B looked like Aladdin during that time. We didn't know each other.
I still do. I still do. Nothing new.
So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up to share my experience. But first, I would like to say, JFEW, great freaking mother freaking topic. And what a coincidence, about 2 days ago with our boy Silos from the Few. I was actually having like a 20-minute discussion with him, and we were talking about this very thing right here, man, Blockbuster and the experiences. So my experience with Blockbuster, well, first, of course, before video game shops, the mom and shops that came out, I remember having one. I lived in Corona, New York, which is in Queens, and I remember about 3 blocks away we had our first mom and shop one. VHS all over the walls. I mean, you cannot see the paint of what color the store was, because they would just have the VHS tapes just everywhere from top to bottom, left to right. And it was a great experience. It was like a lot of fun, and it was small, really small, comparable to Blockbuster when it finally came out. Now, when Blockbuster finally came out and I started going there, it was like an amazing experience. It's like, you walking into a Best Buy, is so airy, the roof is like, miles away, open.
So many copies, so many movies.
And when I worked into, I went into Blockbuster my first time, I mean, it was just an amazing experience. And I'll tell you the truth, on a Friday or Saturday night, I mean, for me, it was an experience just to walk through the aisles of Blockbuster. I just wanted to see what was the next thing I can find. And, around those, early 80s, late 90s, there were a lot of movies that maybe I watched it once, maybe in the movie theater, hardly, but in TV. And then, to get a rerun, yeah, you'd have to buy TV Guide. TV Guide? What's TV Guide? Look it up, youngsters.
Yeah, and you have to actually be there at that time to watch it. It was no recording.
That's it.
TV Guide's still around? I think it's still around.
Yeah, it's still around, but it's different.
Yeah. So it was wonderful to go down the aisles and just see the different genres, and then see all these freaking movies that I have in my hand, and I can actually watch it in the next half hour. So yeah, for me, Blockbuster is definitely something very nostalgic. It's part of my life. I have great memories of it, and it's something that I will continue to carry forth. I've mentioned it to a few of my kids. Of course, they're extremely much younger, and they really don't have that kind of idea of the things that we went through. Because when I was talking with Silos, about that, is amazing that right now I can go ahead and turn on HBO Max, then flick, go next. All right, let's go ahead and watch that. You know what? It is really convenient. But if I were to be able to pay, $20 or something a year and have a Blockbuster I can walk through, I would go ahead and pay that membership, man, just to have that little nostalgic, feel of, let me pick my own stuff. Let me see what's around. So. Yeah, so that is mine. And again, JFEW, thank you so much for bringing this particular topic, man. This was definitely a great surprise and really an awesome one. I think that everyone here, even the astronaut out there, can also, appreciate.
Yeah. one last interesting fact before I go
Yes.
is that Blockbuster also, you know, they sank a lot of these mom and pop shops because they were the first ones to go straight to the movie studio and make a deal where, you know, mom and pop shops were paying $100 for a new release copy. They'd probably be able to afford 3 or 4.
Wow.
But they exclusively would buy them for $2 to $5. And the rentals, part of those rental would, all that profit would go to the movie studios percentage.
Wow.
So that's how they got them so cheap. But anyways, thank you guys. It was a lot of fun talking about this. And Captain Bogy, I hope to see you in the ring soon.
All right, just close your eyes and have a good sleep and dream, and you might see me there. All right, ladies and gents. So thank you so much again, JFEW, for bringing this topic for us. Thank you, GB, JMoody, O.M.B, for contributing and sharing your experiences. And again, here we are in season 1, topic, episode 9 of the CREW After Hours. Yeah. And this is your man Bogy. Oh, let me find where it is. Okay, this is your man Bogy saying, "Nuff said."